Good evening. It's 6 o'clock, not 7 o'clock, because I decided that I wanted to do my live a little bit earlier this evening. For those of you that normally show up at 7 o'clock, you'll pick it up on replay. So, let me know if you're watching this on replay. I might miss the normal crowd that are there at 7. But the reason is that I have had an incredibly busy, incredibly stressful week for reasons that you don't need to know about, but that are really happening in Christmas week. But I decided that I'd do my live at 6 tonight. There's no live next week planned, but I may still pop on and do one. But I wanted to share with you tonight something that I've been working on that I will be sharing through blogs and newsletters and social media content in the early part of next year. And tonight is the night I really wanted to share this with you. Coming towards the end of 2021, going into a new year, I know how the creative brain is wired and how it works. And I wanted to speak directly to you as a creative and talk about why your brain and your mind works very differently to anybody else's. So let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching live. If you're watching live, say #live. If you're watching on replay, #replay. Where are you in the country? What's happening with the weather near you? Are you organized for Christmas? Are you looking forward to it this year? How are you feeling about it? Let me know in the comments. So I have prepared a 20-point, one-page document here. Now you can have it if you want it. Just let me know in DMs if you want a copy of this. But this is what I wanted to talk through, and I've put some real thought into this tonight. So I'll start by saying, for those of you that don't know me, I am Mandy Nicholson, and I am the creative genius consultant, artist, and author. And tonight, hi, Rachel, live on LinkedIn. That's brilliant. This actually, you will get this so much, Rachel. This is going to resonate with you. Stick with me, because this is so going to resonate with you. So I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. I am prepping myself right now for a 5-day challenge and launch that starts on the 10th of January. In the comments, there's a link to that 5-day challenge. Come and join me. Come and join me and a load of other creative women and get some business basics nailed in early January. So I want to talk to you as a creative mind, an entrepreneur, a creative woman, whatever it is you do. Even if you wouldn't traditionally think of yourself as a creative, yet you're an entrepreneur, you're likely to have that creative mind. And it's scientifically proven that creatives think completely differently than the linear thinkers in society, than the majority. We are not the majority. Our brains are hardwired differently from the average person. This is a fact. It's a scientific fact. And if you live with a creative, you are going to struggle to get them to change. They are hardwired. You can't get them to change. If you love them, it's better for you to understand them than it is for you to try and change that thinking. So I've put together this 20-point list that I'm going to talk you through tonight, and it's a lot of points here, as to why you as a creative are different. You are genetically different. It's not just weird and wacky behaviors. And I want to give you confidence that actually you're amazing. You already know this, but I want to talk you through that. So point number 1 is, as a creative, your mind never slows down. It's a constant, non-stop machine filled with curiosity about the world, about people, about behavior, about that color, about this thing. Your mind literally never stops. And this is part of having the creative mind. It's constantly looking for the next new thing that's of interest, that's inspiring, that could actually take you down a path or other. So that's part and parcel of having a creative mind. And this is what the linear thinkers struggle to live with and struggle to understand. But you need to understand it. So point number 1 is your mind never slows down. Number 2 is you will always challenge the status quo. with 2 of your favorite questions. What if and why not? What if we do this? And somebody says to you, you can't do that. Your answer to that is always going to be, why not? This is how you are wired. This is what you will do as a creative. This is what makes you great. This is where your creative genius lies, this constant challenging and questioning of the status quo. Number 3 is you embrace your genius even if others don't. Okay, so you would rather be authentic than popular. I would rather be authentic than I would rather show up with messy hair tonight in my living room an hour early than be the popular girl on the block. It's not important to me. That authenticity is. So you embrace that quirkiness, that genius, that wild hairness, that too muchness. Even if other people don't, you don't care. Number 4 is you have difficulty staying on task. Okay, creatives have difficulty staying on tasks. They have shiny object syndrome and big mental leaps. They can be doing one thing and be having an idea of how they could do something magnificent, something different at the very same time. And this is why many creatives will have 3 or 4 things running at the same time. It can be really detrimental to business because you're not focusing on one thing and seeing it through. And you have to manage yourself really carefully with this shiny object syndrome and not being able to stay on task, because it's when you learn to stay on task, you will get consistency in your business, but your natural state is not to do this. Number 5 is you're going to create in cycles. And that will go from high and manic cycles where your output is huge and you are really, really creative, to low slumps where you actually can feel low, depressed. Oh, wow, this is me. Low and depressed and unable to actually function or continue in any way in your business or in your life. So this is normal. Remember, these are all normal traits in creative women. Number 6, you need time for your soul. You need periods of solitude to recharge, where you retreat from the world, where you read or where you meditate. You need that. And without that, this overactive brain and all this shiny object stuff that's going on in your brain takes over and starts to drive your life instead of you being in the driving seat of it. Number 7 is you really need space to create. You will try and create space. Environment is everything, and the environment that you're in drives peak performance in your creativity, which will be your business. So you will try and find ways to expand the space that you have and create a bigger, better environment. I've just done it. Look at me in my mini castle, bigger and more space to create. And the house itself has become the canvas. And, I've now got an even bigger studio. This is all me, by the way, as well. And, if you resonate with this and this is you, you're not alone. You focus intensely. You can tune out the world completely when you are focused on the actual creation of something. But you are slow to recover if you're interrupted. So if you're focusing intently on something and somebody interrupts you, even a 20-second interruption can cause you a 20-minute recovery time to get back in the focus that you need in your creativity. This is normal. We all suffer from this. You feel deeply. Number 9 is you feel deeply. Human expression personified is what you create. That's your creativity. You've got to scream at the canvas to even create a mere droplet of paint that forms the painting. You've got to scream at the page in order to get a whisper on it. It's literally, that powerful. And you feel that deeply in order to get the emotion through in your work, whatever it is that you are working on. That's normal for creatives. And number 10, you live on the edge of joy and depression. It's really funny because I was thinking when I wrote this, I was thinking of Stevie Nicks on the edge of 17, because at 17 we're at our most rebellious, our biggest in life, aren't we? We're teenagers. We know everything. We're going out into the world. We're going to change it. But you live on the edge of joy and depression. Your sensitive heart is the source of your genius, but also your suffering. And again, today I was in the car and Karen Carpenter came on. What a genius. What a creative genius. And many creative geniuses like Janis Joplin, and who could not continue with their lives because their genius was so big, on that edge of joy and depression. Number 11 is you think and speak in stories, even just like I am doing now. Sometimes I am telling, it can take you a long time to explain something because explaining isn't the point. Expression is the point. And bringing people into your story is the point. Experiencing is the point, not just explaining. So you think and speak in stories. I can be talking to someone and even what they're saying can be forming a story in my mind as the creative that I'm clocking and saying, I think I could use that later. Number 12, you will battle resistance every single day of your life. You have two lives, the life you're living and the life that you are capable of living because of your big creative genius. And somewhere in the middle of that is resistance. The resistance to change, the resistance to taking those big leaps, the resistance to taking the step changes that are needed for you to perform at your peak creativity. Number 13 is you take your work really personally. You take your work really personally because you are your work. Your work is a part of you. When it leaves you and ends up in its creative form, whether that be writing, whether that be painting, whether it's sculpting, whether for you, Rachel, if you're still watching, it's exercise and movement, you are your work. So condemnation is a personal one and it impacts your self-worth, which then impacts all this other stuff that's going on in your head. Number 14 is you have a hard time believing in yourself. Even the most confident appearing person on the outside can still be questioning whether they are good enough as they look at the world around them. This is normal for creatives and really hard to get past. Number 15, you are deeply intuitive, and I mean deeply intuitive. Scientists have studied this in creatives, and actually most creatives can't explain it. It just is, and they just know. And it's been studied quite significantly in creatives that how intuitive they are. And it's because of this mind that never slows down. You notice every little thing, people's movements, their facial movements, their body movements, the color of their hair, the way that they're dressed, the way they move, the environment around them. You notice so much, which makes you intuitive because you put together all of these things into a story that tells the story of the thing, the person, whatever it is you are observing. But number 16 is you use procrastination as a tool. Yes, you use it as a tool. Your best work happens under pressure. When you are backed up against the wall and when you've got minutes left to deliver something, that's when you produce your best work. So you actually use this quite a lot and procrastinate and push yourself into that corner because you know that's when you're gonna deliver the best thing. Not always a great thing to do, but you need to be aware that you probably do that. Number 17 is you become addicted to creative flow. The flow state has been proven again by scientists. There's been a lot of studies on creative people. The flow state is apparently one of the most addictive states on earth, more addictive than man-made drugs or natural drugs or alcohol or anything else out there. That creative flow state is so addictive that you actually seek it out all the time and want to be in it all the time. And this is why many creative businesses don't make money, because it's more fun being in the creative flow than it is being in strategy and linear thinking. So you need to understand that this is really important for you as a creative. You will seek out the creative flow. It's addictive. Number 18, you struggle to complete projects. You will struggle to complete projects. The joy of that initial creation, going back to the creative flow again, is more exciting than the monotony of completion of a project. So the exciting bit at the start, and then you lose momentum and you lose interest and you start to become bored with it. And this happens with shiny object syndrome as well. Number 19 is you will connect the dots better than anybody else around you. You see patterns. Even as people are speaking words or even as events unfold, you will see patterns and connect the dots before anybody else. You will be coming up with solutions, clicking your fingers and going, right, I really understand this. I find myself doing this all the time. I'm having conversations with people and my brain is solving problems and creating stories and creating pictures and connecting dots that other people wouldn't necessarily see. And this is normal for the creative brain. It can be really frustrating when you're trying to stay on task. And number 20, and I can't believe I've got through these so quickly, and I hope that, I haven't done it too quickly. You will have resonated with a lot of these. But number 20, and I think this is the most delightful one, is you will never grow up. You will never grow up. You view life in that childlike wonder, and you seek that out and you notice the beauty in things. It's the epitome of creativity. Even Picasso himself said that he spent 4 years studying to paint like Raphael and a lifetime trying to paint like a child. We seek out the childlike wonder in life, in things, in nature, in people, and we try and recreate that through our unique areas of genius and talent. So why did I want to go through these with you tonight? Because your creative brain is so different. This is exactly why you will struggle more than the average person in business. Because unfortunately, in business, you need systems, procedures, and linear processes that you find incredibly dull. There's none of that creative flow. There's none of that joy. There's none of that connecting the dots. And it's about, you've got to do this and you've got to do it at this time and you've got to do it again and again, and repetition, 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 repetition. But that's learned behavior. Remember, your creative brain is highly intelligent and adaptable. And you can learn the behaviors, the processes, the systems, and the procedures that you need to operate a business. And you can harness all of those beautiful, wonderful, creative traits that you have and understand them better. Even just understanding them, resonating with the things that I've been through, those 20 points tonight, and there's a lot there. So like I said, I've printed them on a A4 sheet. If you want that, let me know in DMs and I'll send it to you. But I'll be doing a lot of work in January and February based around this, so that the creatives of the world that I am speaking to, and remember what I said in there, creatives are not bothered about, let me find the point now, I've got to find it, because this is so me. I'm not bothered about being popular. I'm bothered about showing up and being authentic, sharing value, being honest, calling things out, because you will have so many people around you that do not understand this wonderful creative brain of yours, the potential that it has, the complete and utter blank canvas that it is. And these people won't understand it because they don't think like that. They can't understand it. It's not their fault. Absolutely not their fault. But it's your duty to understand who you are, how you think, and why you do the things that you do. And when you understand it, you can learn how to do the processes, the strategies, and the procedures that you need to operate a business. That can be learned behavior and outsourced tasks. That was my watch just telling me I have done enough steps today. So yay. So I hope that's been of interest to you tonight. Sorry that I had to come on early, but I really just want to sit and put my feet up now for the rest of the night. It's been an incredibly stressful day, an incredibly stressful week, and I want to basically wind down now and enjoy a bit of me time and read a book. I need to do that very thing of retreating into solitude for a little bit to let my thoughts settle. We all need that as creatives. I want to wish you an absolutely amazing Christmas and New Year. Connect with your family and people that you love. Enjoy yourselves. Look after yourself. Stay safe. Stay well. And join me in the new year. I would love to see you and love to have you in my 5-day challenge that starts on the 10th of January. Click the link above to get in that challenge. And let's get some of those boring strategic processes and procedures nailed down as the basics that you need to have your business operating at a better level so that you can be the gorgeous, creative person that you are. Thank you, Mandy. Love that tonight. Loved having you, Rachel, as always. I will see you in 2022, if not before. Have an amazing time. And thank you very much for watching me this year.